Okay, think about what really, truly matters in life.
Yeah.
Like when you look back, it's probably not the stuff, right? Or
Yeah.
the number of followers. It's those connections, the deep chats, the laughter that just bursts out, the look across a room where you just know. Real Bishop, it's like this amazing current that makes everything feel better, richer, makes life sweeter, and actually longer too, believe it or not. But here's the thing, even though we're all supposedly hyper-connected online, sometimes that real feeling of belonging feels,
Uh,
well, kind of distant. So the big question, I think, is how do we actually build those connections intentionally?
that's a huge question. And you're right. We often treat friendship like it's, I don't know, like finding a lucky penny. Pure chance.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
it just happens to you.
But what if it's not just luck? What if there's more we can do?
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We've been looking at this YouTube video, The Friendship Formula by Shumway from the QuickBook IQ channel. And it suggests something really interesting. Building a friendships you want isn't just random. There's actually a kind of formula, or at least a method you can understand.
A pattern almost.
Yeah, a pattern. So our mission today, for you listening, is to sort of unpack that formula. Think of it like a guide to deliberately building those meaningful friendships and pushing back against that loneliness, which the video points out isn't just feeling bad, it's like a deep biological need we have.
Yeah, it starts right there, actually. The video really highlights one of the biggest blocks.
Yeah.
Fear.
Fear. Oh.
Yeah, the fear of, being judged or rejected, or that feeling of maybe you're not quite good enough.
Oh, yeah. That resonates.
And these fears, they act like these invisible walls, right? They stop us from reaching out, even when we really, really want that connection.
Right. It's that weird paradox.
Yeah.
You want it, but the fear holds you back. But what I liked is the video offers this more empowering angle. It says, look, strong friendships aren't just luck of the draw. They're built with intention, with a bit of effort, and maybe a little bit of courage, too.
Exactly. And that leads us straight into the core idea, this friendship formula.
The formula. Okay, let's get into it.
Right. So the video breaks it down into 4. Let's call them invisible forces. 4 things that consistently seem to be present when strong friendships form. Understanding them, well, that gives you the power to actually do something about it.
Instead of just wishing. Okay, what's the first force?
The first one is proximity.
Proximity. Okay, that sounds straightforward, like being near someone.
Pretty much. It's the starting block. You need to be physically close or maybe emotionally available or even just, energetically in the same space for a connection to even have a chance to start.
Like classmates.
Or people you work with.
Exactly. Teammates, neighbors, the person you always see at the dog park, regular encounters. The video says proximity kind of cracks the door open. Okay, cracks the door open. I like that. So just being there is step 1. Makes sense. When you think about it, loads of friendships start that way, don't they? Work, school, hobbies.
Precisely. It gives you that shared context, that common ground. But just being in the same room isn't the whole story, obviously.
Right. Otherwise, we'd be best friends with everyone on the bus.
Ha! Exactly. So that brings us to the second force, frequency.
Frequency. Okay, so how often you interact.
Yes. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The video stresses that it's not about these huge, planned, dramatic get-togethers.
Not grand gestures.
No, it's the small stuff, the consistent small interactions. Like a quick hello that you actually mean, sharing a little laugh over something silly, just being present with each other regularly, little moments.
Like threads in a tapestry.
That's exactly the metaphor the video uses. These small, frequent interactions are the threads. And the more threads you weave, the stronger and more familiar that connection becomes. It builds familiarity, and that builds trust.
Okay, so proximity gets you in the door. Frequency keeps the connection simmering, little and often.
Spot on. That consistency builds predictability. You start to feel comfortable, safe. But, okay, we're around someone often, we say hello. That's still pretty surface level, isn't it?
Yeah, hallway hellos don't usually lead to deep bonds.
Right. So the quality of the time matters too. And that leads to the third force, duration.
Duration. Spending actual time together. This makes intuitive sense.
It does, right. Those quick chats are fine, but they rarely get deep. The video talks about needing longer stretches of time. You know those long talks where you actually get past the small talk?
Yeah, or road trips, or just hanging out on a lazy afternoon with no real agenda.
Exactly. Meandering conversations, even comfortable silence. It's in those longer periods that you can actually go deeper, let intimacy grow beyond just the surface stuff.
You get past the polite chit-chat.
You do. You see more of the real person.
Yeah.
Share vulnerabilities, maybe. understand each other better. Okay, so we've got proximity, frequency, duration. What's the fourth one?
The fourth force is intensity.
Intensity. Ooh, okay. What does that mean in this context?
It's about shared emotional experiences. The video says these can create really strong bonds, sometimes surprisingly fast.
Like going through something together.
Exactly. Think about laughing so hard you cry with someone,
Mm-hmm.
or really supporting each other through a tough time, like a breakup or a loss.
Or facing a challenge together, like a difficult project at work, or maybe even something physical.
Yeah. Those kinds of intense experiences forge a connection. They create this powerful shared memory, that feeling of, wow, we went through that together. It really bonds you.
That makes sense. It creates shared history, shared vulnerability, a sense of reliance on each other.
Yeah. It's like a shortcut to deeper connection sometimes.
Okay, so proximity, frequency, duration, and intensity. Those are the four forces. But here's the really empowering part the video emphasizes.
Which is?
That these aren't just passive things that happen to us. We're not just victims of circumstance.
Ah, right. We can actually influence them.
Precisely. You can be intentional. You can choose to create these forces.
How so?
Well, you can choose to show up more often. That's frequency. You can choose to stay a bit longer in a good conversation. That's duration. You can choose to be a bit more vulnerable, invite deeper moments, or even create shared experiences that might have some emotional intensity.
This is about actively weaving those threads, like you said earlier, making conscious choices.
Exactly. It puts the power back in your hands.
Mm.
And understanding this also helps with, well, with that fear we talked about earlier, the fear of rejection.
Okay, how does it help with rejection? That's a big one for a lot of people.
The video suggests reframing it. Rejection isn't necessarily a sign that you're unworthy or you failed.
What is it then?
It's redirection.
Redirection, like the universe telling you to go elsewhere.
Sort of, like maybe that connection just wasn't the right fit. It's guiding you towards people who will value you, who will choose you back.
Yeah.
Not every potential friendship is meant to happen.
That's actually quite freeing, isn't it? Takes the personal sting out of it a bit. It's not, I'm not good enough. It's, this isn't the right match.
Exactly. It's grace in disguise, as the video puts it. It shifts the focus from feeling like you're the problem to just acknowledging it wasn't the right connection.
Okay, I like that reframe. So if we're trying to be more intentional, trying to initiate things, how do we make ourselves seem, well, approachable without being fake?
Good question. The video talks about the art of approachability, and it's not about becoming some super extrovert overnight.
Yeah.
It's about the small things, tiny, almost invisible acts, it says, like a genuine smile that actually reaches your eyes.
The Duchenne smile, right?
Exactly. Relaxed, open body language, not crossed arms, looking defensive, and asking light, curious questions, things that invite the other person to share a little, like just making eye contact and smiling briefly, or asking open-ended questions instead of ones that just get a yes-no answer. Small things that signal, I'm open to connecting.
Lowering the barriers gently, creating a safe vibe.
Precisely. It makes it easier for others to take that first step towards you, too. But, okay, we've made contact, we're being approachable. How do we move beyond just pleasantries into something more real?
Ah, yes. The leap from acquaintance to actual friend.
This is where the video introduces the idea of emotional bids.
Emotional bids. Okay, unpack that.
So, like, little signals we send out to test the waters for a deeper connection. They're often quite subtle.
Like what kind of signals?
Could be mentioning you had a rough day, sharing a small dream or ambition you have, maybe admitting a minor vulnerability or fear. It's basically an invitation.
An invitation to connect on a slightly more personal level.
Exactly. You're putting a little bit of yourself out there, seeing how the other person responds.
And how they respond is key, I guess.
Absolutely critical. The video stresses this. Strong friendships are built on thousands, literally thousands of these small moments. It's about choosing to turn toward that bid.
Turn toward.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
Turning away. Maybe because you're distracted or uncomfortable or you just don't notice. Turning toward means responding with warmth, with curiosity, with validation.
So if someone says, rough day.
Yeah.
You don't just go, ugh. You say, oh no, really, what happened?
Exactly. You show you heard them, you care, you're interested. It's those tiny choices repeated over time that build real trust and intimacy.
Wow. Thousands of moments. That really puts it into perspective. It's not one big thing. It's consistent small acts of attention.
It really is. And fundamental to being able to turn toward someone effectively is, well, actually listening.
True listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Precisely. The video calls it a transformative skill. It's more than just hearing words. It's leaning in physically and metaphorically, trying to understand the feeling behind the words.
Mirroring emotions, maybe. Validating their experience.
Yes, making them feel truly seen and heard. And importantly, a good listener doesn't always need to jump in and fix things or offer advice. Sometimes the best thing is just to hold that space.
Just let them feel understood. That's powerful.
Incredibly valuable, and often quite rare.
Okay, so we're building connection, turning towards bids, listening deeply. But no relationship is smooth sailing forever, right? What about conflict? Disagreements happen.
They're inevitable, absolutely. And the video gives some really solid advice here. The key is not to avoid conflict.
Don't sweep it under the rug.
Right. Lean into it, address things early on before they fester, and crucially, assume good intentions from the other person, at least initially.
That's hard sometimes.
It can be,
Hmm?
but it helps. Then share your feelings vulnerably. Use "I feel" statements, not "you did" accusations. Be willing to apologize if you messed up. And offer forgiveness sincerely when it's warranted.
So it's about tackling it constructively, not destructively.
Exactly. And the video makes the point that when conflict is handled well, it can actually deepen the trust and understanding in the friendship. You've navigated something tough together and come out the other side.
That makes sense. You can rely on each other even when things get tricky. Okay, so we build the friendship, we navigate conflict. But how do we keep it going? Life gets busy.
It does. And friendships need ongoing care, like tending a garden. This is where the video talks about the importance of rituals.
Rituals like secret handshakes.
Could be. But more often it's things like maybe a regular weekly check-in call, always remembering birthdays, having specific traditions that are unique to your friendship, maybe an annual trip or a certain type of movie night.
Ah, okay. Things that keep you connected intentionally.
Yeah, they act like anchors, the video says. They keep the connection strong, even when you're busy or far apart. They signal that the friendship is still a priority.
Regular maintenance for the friendship engine. I like that.
Keeps it running smoothly. Now, another really important point the video makes, and this ties back to the rejection thing, is that not everyone is meant to be your close friend.
And that's okay.
Totally okay. It's about finding your people.
Your tribe.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them. The ones who, like, genuinely light up when you walk into a room. Who appreciate your quirks, your weirdness.
Who support your dreams.
And who stick by you when things get tough. Finding those people, the video acknowledges, takes time. It takes patience, resilience, courage again.
So don't try to force it with everyone. Focus on the connections that feel genuinely good and reciprocal.
Exactly. Cherish those ones. Invest in them. And don't get discouraged if some connections fizzle out. It's natural.
It all comes back to something pretty fundamental, doesn't it? The video really drives home that friendship isn't just a nice to have.
Not at all. It frames it as a biological necessity, seriously.
Like food and water.
Well, maybe not quite that immediate, but the research is overwhelming. Strong social connections literally lead to longer, healthier, more vibrant lives. It's not fluff. It's vital for our well-being.
So despite all the challenges of modern life, finding meaningful connection is actually achievable and incredibly important for us.
Absolutely achievable. And the final, really empowering takeaway from the video is this.
Go on.
The ability to build these friendships, it's already inside you, right now.
We don't need fixing first.
Nope. You are already enough. You don't need to wait until you lose weight or get a promotion or become somehow better. You already have the core skills.
Like what?
Like the ability to show up, to smile genuinely, to listen, to feel empathy. These are the building blocks. It's about believing in your own inherent capacity for connection.
Believing you're worthy of friendship, just as you are.
Exactly. Tapping into that innate human need for belonging and knowing deep down that you deserve those deep, meaningful connections right now.
Wow. Okay, so as we wrap this up, the big message really is the life you want, the one filled with connection and belonging. It starts with you.
Yeah, making those small, brave choices. Showing up authentically, reaching out, even if it feels a bit scary.
Listening with your whole self.
Yeah.
Being open to love, really, in all its forms.
And maybe just taking a moment, Consider the idea that maybe you were never broken. Maybe that ability to connect deeply was always there, just waiting.
Waiting for you to embrace it. So the final thought to leave you with, that next amazing, life-enriching friendship, it really could be just one brave hello away.